This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and I'm going to look at the most affordable Amazon Fire tablet yet. This is the Fire HD6, $99 starting price. We're going to look at it now. So this is the new Amazon Fire HD6. This is their most affordable tablet to date. Given the name 6, it means it has a 6-inch display. It's $99 starting price, and that gets you the 8 gig model. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, get the 16 gig model. It's $20 more, so that's $119 here in the US, and that gets you 16 gigs of storage, $20, double the storage. And you know what? This is Amazon's upsell device, because the minute you look at it, you say, 4 gigs of storage, I want to put the latest Batman game on there or something else, I'm going to run out of storage. In fact, we couldn't even put one of the GTA titles on here. There wasn't enough space. So they've already upsold you on the higher storage capacity. And then there's a display. It's not bad. It's not superb. One of the things about the Kindle Fire, or now just called Amazon Fire HDX tablets, is they're full HD or higher resolution. Really nice screens. This one is a decent screen. Certainly it's a great screen for $99, but then you're thinking, well, I'm already going to spend $120 to get the 16 gig version of this fella. So then if I just spend another $80, I could get the HDX7, a little bit bigger and a full HD 1920 by 1080 display. You see what I mean? One of the reasons this exists is so Amazon can say, look, you can get a Fire tablet for $99, and they're hoping that you're going to thumb through the selection and end up buying something a little bit better. That said, for those of you who are on an extreme budget or just like the idea of a 6-inch tablet, because most tablets are 7 inches, not 6 inches. 6 inches is the size of the e-ink devices. In fact, here we have the 2014 model of the Kindle, or you could call it the Kindle Touch. As a touchscreen, it does not have backlight, $79. So only $20 price difference. And you're thinking, wow, all the functionality I'm going to get on this tablet over here, I can stream videos and all that sort of nice stuff. I can play music. Use Amazon's App Store, no-brainer there. So in that way, for those of you who are not super reading-centric, if you are super reading-centric, these e-ink Kindles still make a lot of sense. They're very easy on the eyes. The battery life is 2 to 4 weeks versus, well, this is up to 8 hours of use time. So if you're really not much into watching movies, listening to music, playing games, all that sort of thing, one of these still makes sense regardless of what price you're talking about. No backlighting on the basic 2014 edition $79 Kindle, but we do have the Kindle Paperwhite for those of you who like e-ink and like backlighting, and that looks just about the same. It gets a little better treatment of curvy sides here, but so there is one that does have, actually it's front lighting to be technically correct on it, so if you need to be able to see it in, well, not well-lit places, that's a possibility too. You don't have to go to a tablet just to get some form of lighting on the screen. But back to our little friend here. It's running Amazon Fire OS 4, otherwise known as Sangria, and everything that you can do on any Fire tablet you can do on this one. So it might be budget price, but you get all the same stuff there. Obviously we have our books. We have the usual carousel UI here, and just goes through things I've used recently. I played the Sonic game right there. That's the Silk browser icon. I've been benchmarking it. And we have the up top selections here, maybe a little faint, a little hard to see on this particular display. Shop, games, apps, books, music, videos, so on. If you tap on videos, there it is, Amazon Instant Video and Prime Video right here, available at your fingertips. And it's a 1280 by 800 IPS display. It's decently bright. It's also highly reflective. The brightness does not combat the reflection quite as well on this model. They really didn't go into the whole make it bonded glass and all that stuff. So you're talking 252 ppi. It's not terrible, but one thing I did notice is the viewing angles aren't quite as good on this. It's not terrible, but they're not as good as the HDX or some more expensive tablets. And the colors are a bit more muted on this. They're not terrible, they're not blah, but the Fire HDX colors, wow, they really pop. And that also has really excellent color tuning on it. So with this one, you're getting a not bad experience, but it's got pretty good contrast on here. It's got certainly adequate brightness, unless you're going to be sitting at the beach, and then no tablet's really so great anyway, is it? So you get everything for the price, not bad. Home button, back button, all the usual navigation stuff right here. You got your email. We have the App Store. Let's take a look at that. Amazon App Store. I think most of you are probably familiar with that. It doesn't have all of the apps that the Android App Store has, but Amazon has a pretty healthy selection. They've really been beefing up games, particularly lately, because they want to get more people playing games. So you have your Silk web browser, which is a WebKit-based web browser on here. You have Calendar. You can actually sync up to Gmail now for your calendar and your contacts. You have your email program. Not the Gmail program, but you can set up the email program to pick up your Gmail. This is running Android, however, it's beyond what you would call heavily skinned. It's wildly customized by Amazon, so unless you're an Android person, you start to recognize some of those icons and some of the settings and all this stuff, you probably wouldn't even say, hey, that's Android. You can get the settings, and that is an Android-like feature. You pull down, you get your notification and quick settings. Here we have brightness. Notice there is no auto brightness on this model, just a manual brightness slider. It does rotate to portrait and landscape mode. You can turn your Wi-Fi on and off. Single band Wi-Fi 802.11 and 2.4 gigahertz, not the dual band or dual band with MIMO that we've seen on Fire HDX tablets. Again, that's another concession to the budget price tag for the Kindle HD6 and the HD7. By the way, the HD7 is $139. Exact same specs as this, just a little bit bigger screen. And here, if we want to go to settings, that's how they customize their settings right there, and you can see. You've got parental controls on this. You also can use Kindle Free Time on this. So it's pretty kid-friendly. Of course, they now have a Fire for Kids, which is $149, a very rugged kind of casing, particularly good for, well, young kids. Household profiles as well right there. Does have Bluetooth as well. No 4G, no 3G, no LTE. That's not an option on this. You have to move up to the HDX line if you want to have wide area wireless networking. Just Wi-Fi on this guy. In terms of speed, it's running a MediaTek 1.5 gigahertz CPU. Now, it's an interesting sort of CPU. It's sort of like the Samsung Exynos CPUs. We have 2 high power cores, 2 low power cores. NVIDIA also does that with some of their Tegras. Now, MediaTek is not the fastest on the block. It is not the most power efficient on the block. Some of the latest CPUs are coming out with soon at the higher end are starting to look pretty competitive in terms of performance with, say, the Qualcomm Snapdragon. This is not it. The performance and benchmark numbers on this are just, okay. And Amazon claims up to 8 hours of use time, and that is kind of optimistic. It really depends on what you do. If you're streaming movies, you're going to reduce your battery life. If you're just watching, reading a book or something like that, then it's going to be longer. If you're playing music with the screen off, it's going to be longer. I find it's more like about 6.5 hours or so. And for those of you who are thinking about the next step up, both literally in size and in price, this is the latest generation Nexus 7 by Google, $229 for the 16 gig model, full HD 1920 by 1080 display. And you know, the bezels on this particular unit happen to be pretty big on the Nexus 7. Not all 7-inch tablets have such big bezels. Samsung, particularly with their 7-inch tablets, has smaller bezels, but you get an idea of the difference in sharpness, clarity, size, all that sort of thing when you're spending twice as much money. Speaking of benchmarks, 3D Mark right here, you can see it scored 10,406, which is not terrible. It's about half as fast as, say, the Fire HDX tablets running on a quad-core Snapdragon 800. The new 8.9-inch, in fact, is running on the Snapdragon 801 clocked at 2.5 gigahertz. So, yeah, not too bad. Quadrant has scored 6,231. So, somewhere between a third, a half of some competing Android smartphones, even in other tablets. So not the fastest, but it's still adequate for playing games, which is going to be the most demanding thing. Certainly it can handle streaming video. And actually Amazon's operating system has gotten a lot speedier. Even before in faster hardware, it would often lag, and now not so much the case. It does work in landscape mode as well for the carousel and any application that supports landscape, which is pretty much every application out there. And it weighs 10 ounces. It feels pretty heavy relative to the 6-inch size. I was surprised when I first picked it up. And it has a definite lack of style. Amazon tries a little bit with the HDX tablets, even those are not stunningly gorgeous. You get straight sides. It looks pretty much like your very basic tablet. Your volume controls are over here. And up top we have our headphone jack. We have micro USB 2.0 port. We have our power button right there. Nothing going on the side. Nothing on the bottom. And the back with the big Amazon logo. Shows some fingerprints. You can see we've already got a little fingerprint stuff going on here. A bit of a bevel. And notice here the speaker. Mono speaker. HDX tablets have been big into the sound quality and stereo speakers. This one does have Dolby audio for processing, and you're going to get the benefit of that with headphones, really, because with a mono speaker, well, you can only do so much. Decently loud, though. Amazon always is good for volume. On the back, 2-megapixel camera. And the front is a VGA camera. I suppose it's better than nothing, but it is sort of like cell phone circa 2004, isn't it? The surprising thing, though, is the back camera actually takes pretty decent shots. I mean, they are 2 megapixel. There's not lots of detail, but the exposure, the balance, all that sort of stuff, it's not as bad as you might think. Again, it's sort of like a better than nothing. The cameras are there sort of thing. There is no Mayday button on this tablet. You get the usual Amazon, email, web, and phone support if you need it, but no cutesy little Mayday button where you can get into live chat support with somebody at Amazon. You're going to have to go again up to the Fire HDX, or of course the Amazon Fire phone if you want to have that feature. As a reader, it's actually not bad. The screen is pretty good when it comes to contrast. Like I said, pretty decent brightness on this too. Often you don't want the world's brightest thing burning your retinas when you're reading anyway. And you have the usual neat Amazon features. So if you do about the book, you can see about the author. You can see other books the author has written. It has integration with Facebook, with Goodreads as well. Goodreads certainly makes a lot of sense here. So if you are a person who does like to read as well, that was just the X-ray function right there that we have. Sharing, bookmarks, the usual highlighting, all that sort of stuff. It doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't mind reading on this, to be honest, which is a pretty good achievement for a $99 color LCD tablet. Of course, page turn speeds are fine on this. You don't need much of a processor to do that. The white background is indeed fairly neutral and white, no funny color casts on there. IPS, you can count on it for that. And viewing angles are such that if you turn it like this, you can still read it if you happen to move it. I think when most people are reading, they're going to be looking at it straight on and probably not sharing it. And tap anywhere and you can get to the home button, standard Kindle stuff right there. And how about videos? Now, the DRM police will have a fit if we actually stream any videos here, so I would love to show you what they look like, but we really can't do that. Suffice to say, they're pretty sharp, they're not bad looking. Super duper colorful, not as much. Now for music, if you're a Prime customer, you actually can get some free streaming music here. You've got stuff that's in your library. We're just going to play a little bit of a song so you can hear the volume of the speaker. So there it is, not quite maximum. It's maximum. So the speaker on this, it's not bad. It's okay. It's a mono speaker. The volume is pretty good at maximum setting, and it does not distort at maximum setting. You're probably going to use headphones anyway, aren't you? So how about gaming? A lot of you are probably buying this for a little bit of fun, or maybe to keep your kids entertained. So we're gonna check out Sonic Racing right here. And it's playing just fine. Honestly, some of the most demanding 3D games are too large to fit on storage unless you get the 16 gig model. But it certainly is a creative looking game. So there it is, the Fire HD6 playing Sonic Racing. And doing a fine job. So that's the Amazon Fire HD6. It's available now. So is the HD7, in fact. And if you're looking for a stocking stuffer, $99, you don't want to spend too much money, you don't want to make a big commitment, maybe you're not going to use a tablet so much, you could do a lot worse. There's a lot of no-name tablets out there, China Mart, whatever, mobile, brands you've never heard of, and you have no hope of probably any good support. At least with Amazon, they're reputable, you get good support, all that sort of thing. It probably will continue to work a year and 2 years down the road. So for $99, absolutely not bad at all. And like I said, it is also designed to get you looking and to upsell you, and I can't blame you if you start moving into certainly that 16 gig model, or maybe even an HDX if you do know you want some more features. But for those who are on a constrained budget, or who just want a 6-inch size, since it's really hard to find something, I mean, look how small that is, something that's not much bigger than an iPhone 6 Plus, you could do worse. So that's the Amazon Fire HD6. It's available now. So is the Fire HD7. And if you're looking for as extreme budget as you can go and still get into the Amazon ecosystem, stream Prime videos, Prime Instant Music, all that sort of stuff, it'll do the job. It may not have the best display. It may not have the fastest CPU. But hey, that's what you get for the price. It's not bad. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website for the full written review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.